Well, earlier tonight, you saw an up-and-coming actress getting her big break on the hit CBS drama Without a Trace. Lourdes Colon was discovered by CBS executives at a showcase for minority actors last year. In tonight's episode of Without a Trace, Colon played a Guatemalan immigrant whose young son has been kidnapped. Colon says she's grateful to CBS for the opportunity that the showcase provided.
You get to go in front of like all these studio heads and really show them your creative side. Show them that you really can be whatever they want you to be. Just giving that opportunity.
Always a smile, always humorous, always cracking jokes and having fun.
Too fast I made my full but I'm not sure, so I can maybe say in Spanish. I don't know.
And even when life throws her a curveball, she hits it.
And I always saw Lourdes as a star. You know, like I saw her on the cover of magazines, things like that. I admire her.
Remember the name. I think we're going to see more of her in the
big
future.
Star there.
Yeah.
As an actress, I just wanted to act. But outside of that, there was this yearning feeling inside that I wanted to do more. Like yes, I want to entertain and get into acting because I love that. But like in every cell of my body, it's like, I had this thing where I kept even telling my husband, Chris, I'm like, God, I want to make an impact in the world. I want to make a difference. I want to really connect with these people. And how do I inspire them? But I don't know why, but there's like this thing that I have to do. And I could not put my finger on how and what it was. How many times I literally, on my appointments I had with the doctor, I kept missing them because I was avoiding it like the plague. And then finally I was like, okay, after missing several, I made that appointment again and I stuck to it. And that moment that happened, like everything happened fast. And then she's telling me, you have Hodgkin's lymphoma.
So out of the gate, she said, I'm going to do this naturally. I'm going to cure my cancer naturally. And I was really against that.
But then we found out she was going to do it all natural. And I was so pissed off. I was so angry. It's like, why?
I was really afraid. I was really afraid of anything that wasn't the normal or the traditional.
When I found out that Lourdes was going to fight her cancer naturally, I was so not surprised, just knowing her. And she's such a fighter that I kind of rallied behind her. I thought, okay, this is awesome.
She has a positive attitude, she's very smart, and she seemed to do her research, so I thought, well, maybe there's something she knows that I don't know.
She was so open to whatever might cure her cancer naturally, and the key was that she wanted to find something that would knock the cancer out of her body, but not affect her for life.
He just said, you know, I want you to understand that your mom went from curable to dying.
The insurance that I had through my company, which is phenomenal insurance, it's good insurance, will not cover any other type of treatment except for what's prescribed by American doctors, which is chemotherapy and radiation. And so we decided to raise money.
I was blessed with so many people that got it and they all put in. I mean, they ended up raising more than the amount.
It was working. She had so much more energy. Her energy went from 0 to 1,000%. You know, she was eating. Her weight loss seemed to cease. It was good on all counts.
She got better, the lumps started going away, and so there was some promise, and I had hope, and I felt like this is working, this is gonna work.
You can pull out the fear and do what you gotta do and knock it out. And I figured if I can spread it and then knock it out again, I'm good.
She essentially was sacrificing herself to show people, to prove to people that that's what happens, that it is poisonous, that while it may determine where the cancer is and if you have the cancer, it can actually stimulate the growth of it.
After having already taken care of it to some degree, her desire to show you this isn't a fluke, her desire to get past the industry's poo-poo propaganda, really put her life on the line.
I want to inspire you guys. If I could show you the love that I have for every individual on this planet because you guys are such blessings and life is so wonderful.
You know, I thought the only thing I was gonna have to fight was cancer. That was it. I gotta fight cancer. No big deal. I never expected something to sidetrack and go, nope, gotcha. Now you got pneumonia. Like, I didn't expect something to get me so sick that it, like, literally, I'm like, if this bone gets any bonier, seriously, look at this. Look at this. That's it. That's it. He said I was yellow. I agreed because I kept telling everybody. I'm like, don't I look yellow? And everybody kept saying, no. I'm like, are you sure? Because I look yellow. And so I go to the doctor and he's like, you look yellow. And I'm like, I've been telling everybody I look yellow.
It's so trippy to go through these bad moments because they become very scary. And, you know, then you wonder, if your body's strong enough to continue to fight it, you know.
I stopped filming altogether, and I didn't shoot any footage because I think for the first time, my fear of things got the better of me in a sense that I couldn't function outside of the basic desire to take care of my wife. It never occurred to me to pick up a camera.
Give me the strength. Give me the strength to continue. Give me the strength to find the ways.
Chris wheeled her in a wheelchair, and it was the end. I was losing my friend. She was going to die. I knew it. The neatest thing about it was my animals surrounded her, my dog and my cat, and they just wanted to love her and take care of her. And I've never seen anything like that in my life. It was just the cats knew, the cat knew, the dog knew, we knew.
So, since I'm in the predicament I'm in now, which is the last stage, I'm actually being able to finally go to the place I've been trying to go from the very beginning.
Never seen Lourdes as bad as she was. And I remember thinking for the first time, what happens if she dies? What happens if my wife dies and I'm in a foreign country? What do I do? Lourdes's lining in her chest cavity had gotten so bad that her body was just dumping fluids into her chest cavity.
Her lungs collapsed. We had to do emergency surgery on her.
And then they sent me away, and that was weird. And I remember being in the hallway, and Lourdes started screaming. And I don't mean like yelling because she was mad at somebody. Like, she was screaming because she was in pain. They had her hooked up to, basically, reminds me of a compressor, like a compressor you used to fill up the tire in a car. But it was basically, it expanded her lung again, and it was keeping her chest cavity free of fluid.
What I'm getting is a sonotherapy, and there's a sound. What it is a sound frequency that when it hits cancer, it actually dissolves it. So that's what I'm getting done. It's like 5 minutes on each area that you're working on. Besides, que aquí también te dijo, ¿verdad? Sure. Yeah, so that's what we're doing is we're dissolving the cancer cells. And this is done daily.
The treatments there did more for her than any treatment here in the U.S. Like, she was healing, she was curing, she was really just so physically different night and day And then they told us this lining had one way to be cured. I couldn't believe it.
We suggested that she needed low-dose chemo was to fix the lung problem that she had. The suggestion of using chemotherapy at that time was not for the cancer itself, but it was to fix the lung problem that she had, to kind of seal the issue there.
You want to slap your head because it's just like a sweet irony, you know, like Lourdes beat cancer. Like, I'm going to call it what it is. She beat cancer naturally, her way, the way she was intending to do so. And to remove the risk of possible future lung collapse, we needed to give Lourdes chemotherapy.
Sosténmelo, Lourdes, por favor. Sosténmelo. Ya.
Use this syringe and needle to draw out the liquid and then change needles. The ones that
okay.
Because these needles are going to hurt her more if you don't change.
All right.
Change needles, okay?
You better be nice, babe.
Oh, you ain't done. I will jack you up. Strength will come from somewhere.
Yes, let's do the chemotherapy. Let's get this taken care of. I thought, all right, that's what we're going to do then. Lourdes pissed off a lot of people in the medical profession through this journey. And I remember this one technician got so irritated with Lourdes because she said no. I said no before, I'll say no again. It makes me cough. That's exactly what I don't want to do. I already have holes in my lungs because I'm coughing too much. I don't want that. You know, the only thing that does is make me cough. It's not going to help me. And they can't make you do anything. And so the therapist would be frustrated and say, well, you have to sign this. And Lourdes would piss off this doctor and that doctor in her journey with cancer. And it was just one more medical person that Lourdes pissed off. The nurse told Lourdes, if you don't do this treatment, it's real possibility we're going to have to put a tube down your throat so that you can breathe because you're not breathing on your own. And Lourdes is like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Chaos ensued when Lourdes tried to put this medicine up to her mouth and she couldn't breathe in enough to get the medicine to do any good. Her breathing had become shallow and she wasn't getting the oxygen that she needed. And so there's a sensor that senses how much oxygen is in the system, and it went off. And then there's this alarm going off right now, and all these nurses are rushing in, and Lourdes is asking everybody to back off, and just let me do this, I can do this, let me just, back off, she kept saying to everybody. And then after that first alarm went off, a second alarm that sounds completely different went off, and this alarm was her heart. And her heart was now racing because it was also in panic mode because she wasn't getting the oxygen. And then once the heart alarm went off, a different alarm went off, and there was so much noise and chaos that was ensuing because basically Lourdes was, it was at that moment that Lourdes was dying. And if we weren't in the emergency room, in the intensive care unit, if we weren't in the intensive care unit, Lourdes would have died. And I remember standing in this sea of scrubs, different colors, just watching chaos just unfold in front of me. And they gave Lourdes some sort of medicine in her IV which knocked her out, and she fell backwards. And there was this one nurse, and I'll never forget this nurse. This very nurse was the only thing that was keeping my wife alive. Because he was the man that was on top of her bed and causing that bulbous breathing apparatus to breathe for her because her lungs had stopped working. This short, stocky doctor came in and got to the head of Lourdes' bed and put this metal device into her mouth and basically opened up her cavity and put a tube in her, and then the machines took over. A nurse saw me that I was starting to cry, and the nurse saw me, and I was losing control. I didn't have control anymore. And she said, "I'm so sorry. I know you've been through so much." And she tried to hug me, and I pushed her away.
The doctors at one point said to my dad and me, You should probably call family. If anyone's gonna wanna come and see her, probably now is the time.
Society, we have a lot of people when they are in a situation like this, they don't want to climb the mountain. And she did exactly this. She climbed the mountain and reached the top. And the top is the health.
She's back. She's healthy. She's happy. She looks amazing. She has this incredible outlook and this amazing desire to want to inform and help other people.
You come to a point in that journey where you have no choice but to lay down and die or to get up and fight. She got up and fought.
Ready for the headliner? Yeah! All right, put your hands together for Lourdes Cologne.
I was fighting cancer, and I chose to do it naturally. And I went to Mexico, so it all goes in. And I realized at that moment I was the biggest fucking mistake. Because I was 10 steps away from the bathroom, and I only had 1 step before I took a shit.
So thank you, Lourdes, for teaching us that cancer doesn't mean the end.